first of all, thank you for both of you, both duets. It's a special thing what happened here now, because until this moment we never had a studio presentation, like a real. Usually we find a gallery space, or it's more site-specific, or theater, and it's a theater. But somehow it happened that we ran out from the venues, and I like this space. I was also creating here a lot, and also performing here. And then I just asked the Workshop Foundation if they can, because they are running the studio, if they can offer this chance for us to be a bit closer to what is happening. We have seen two different, but also on a way similar works, but from very young artists and artists who are already established and who are already working for a while, also independently and also in company life. And I thought maybe it would be just a matching possibility to see from where you are coming from and what is happening with the artists who are not available for 1 week to stay here and make classes, just coming here for some nights when you are so busy and really work a lot. It's her fault. So I introduce you GKERER KFRAIMAN, who is at the moment you are company member of Vertigo dance company based in Israel, and GKERER. You used to be company member, but not anymore at Vertigo from Israel. And Jana and Laura, who are actually just graduated at Latvian. Latvian Academy of Culture, Contemporary Dance Department. I am still learning this because I tend to call it Contemporary Academy or Contemporary Dance Academy. No, it's the Latvian Academy for Culture. So they just graduated, and this what we have seen was also a bachelor work. And what we have seen here was a lot of awards winning piece, if I can say it like this. And your work is especially important because we started a collaboration with the Jerusalem-based L1danceFest Festival, and they have also a competition, an international competition, and last year this piece, Nice to Beat You, won the first prize, but our intention is not to invite always those who are getting the first prize, but in this case it was obvious that we want you also here. So it was also an ongoing cooperation with Mahoshalam. And Lucky Trimmer helped also in having you here, which is a Berlin-based festival. And I would like to start with some introduction. How did you get to the point to meet each other, to work with each other? And we can just exchange the words, we don't have to follow an order. Just if you can tell a little background, how you met, how you started to work, what was the inspiration. We have to mention that the choreographer of the work, Alicia, is not here now, so the dancers will explain us.
Corinne,
Yeah,
tell the story.
Tell the story.
I was dancing in a Bacheva dance company in the ensemble, and every year we had an evening of the dancers' creations, and the dancers were kind of responsible for everything that has to do with the production of this evening, including the choreographies. And in my last season there, I wanted to try to create, and I had just the wish to create with another man. And I was debating who from my colleagues to invite, and I had some kind of a decision, one of the members that worked with me at that moment. And then we have Gaga classes in the morning, and Gil at that time was doing Gaga classes with us as a guest. And
what a surprise from an Israeli dancer.
Yes, and then I was about to come to my colleague, to my friend, and as I'm reaching my friend, Gil is entering the studio, and I had like, I want to work with him.
But you knew each other?
We didn't know each other. We knew each other kind of from the dance scene in Israel, but we were not friends, or we didn't pass in the same way in the companies we worked for. And long story short, I didn't say it on the spot, but then I contacted Gil and invited him for this collaboration, and then we spoke about it a little bit and started working together. So yeah, this is how it started, and we created this piece together, and then we started performing it in this format of the creations of the dancers. And we had, from the beginning, we already spoke about the possibility of continuing with this, continuing to developing and to perform beyond the platform
that
Batsheva supported and suggested us.
And you made it, no? And you performed it how many countries?
We performed.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
The premiere was last year.
Premiere was last June. June
yeah,
2017.
we're celebrating a year and a little bit.
In a few months.
And then there was, we had a few invitations, and at some point we got to because I already started another company, and it's not always possible to combine everything together, so we started already adding girls to replace me. So some of the performances were with other dancers. Gil stayed performing everything, and whenever I was available, which was
quite rare,
exactly.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, so we were happy to do it together when it was possible, which was also a moment when we wanted to understand what do we do with this problematic schedule of ours, and then we kind of understood that the piece is more important, or the life of the piece is more important than belonging it to only us together. So we were also happy to share it with more people and allow it to have its own continuation in life. Yes.
For us it was quite easy. We studied together, and to get our bachelor's degree we have either to write a long dissertation or to write a shorter one and create a dance piece. So Alice chose to write a shorter one and create a dance piece. And initially it was a completely different piece. It was 5 dances, and this was supposed to be a 3-minute duet somewhere there, and with lemons and whatever else. There was a lot of props for that idea. And then there was this one rehearsal where we were practicing just this duet. And one of our teachers.
One of our teachers and her friend from Amsterdam, Olga Zitkova, came, so she wanted to show all the bachelor pieces, how our students doing, and because other three members
couldn't come to that
rehearsal, we showed only the 3-minute piece, which was a part only of the whole idea. And they told that you don't need any other person, just make a whole piece.
And it was a little bit over a month left till the premiere, but it doesn't mean that we get to work every day, since it's 13 pieces that have to be made, and we still have classes in between and festivals and everything that we have to take part in. It was for Alice quite a hard decision. She wasn't sure if she wanted to do the duet or still continue with the 5 dances. And then somehow she decided, and then we did this.
So the premiere was at the end of the year.
It was in the middle of May.
May. And you have performed this work beside the platform which we have seen in Riga.
We tried counting. I think it's
You
5
must-
times plus some excerpts, or what do you call those anyway? Like sometimes we show just
In Latvia or some other places as well?
In Latvia, this is the first time we go abroad. Yes.
And how can you rehearse it? I mean, like, as I got back to here, because we were in the other venue to watch Roman solos, I immediately went to Adam, to our technician tonight, and asked him if everything is okay. And he told me, yeah, we made the rehearsal. Yeah, okay, but I left you with the rehearsal, like you were rehearsing, starting the rehearsal. He told me, no, we did the run, and then even 2 times they made it. And I was like, okay, and the show, how will it happen? Like, you have, especially you, Laura, that you are carrying Jana all the way long. How can you train yourself as such?
I don't really know. It happens gradually, but I think it takes a lot of strength from her to make it possible.
I really try to be nice as much as I can. And I also imagine that I'm only 15 kilograms when I do this piece. And I'm like absolutely sure about it.
And for at the premiere, the day when we were supposed to show it, I went to the rehearsal, to the dress rehearsal, and I was, because usually we have our last most important rehearsals on the same day as the premieres or the shows. That's the way we do it in Latvia. So I went to the rehearsal, and I thought maybe I should go a little bit lighter with it because, well, the show is tonight. But I had had a good sleep the night before, and at the rehearsal I was so surprised that my muscles are not actually tearing apart. Because before it was quite, in school it was quite a heavy period, we were all tired. So all the rehearsals were real suffering, except the last rehearsal where I realized it's much easier than I thought. And then ever since it has just been easier than it was when we started, so somehow I don't think about it so much anymore.
And beside thinking on being 15 kilograms, do you have some special way of, I don't know, you don't eat anything of that day, or?
She eats a lot, I don't eat anything. She goes around rehearsals with a cake in one hand and
I make her suffer also psychologically, not only physically. No, I'm just being myself.
Nothing special.
Yes.
And how is it with you, Gil? Because I have the privilege to see also the second cast, and I really enjoyed it, and I really appreciated to be able to see, not with you, but with another dancer. But we asked Gil, please bring Corina. So we had this feeling that we want you here with this version. How do you feel when you perform with
Different kind.
her? Or
It's definitely different, and basic things like in terms of proportion and stuff, we need to adjust things. But in general, I feel.
she's also taller, no?
Yes, she was taller and
Maria was
longer.
taller.
But actually, a process of replacing a dancer to add a second cast. I did it also as a cast member and also now as a choreographer. I kind of like this process because it starts. You need to start to open the piece and to give words to things that you never spoke, kind of, and in a way also I feel so this process it's kind of it strengthens the piece, and also when we go back because we worked with the dancer together, and then we need to verbalize things. So and then when we are back, we have what to deal with, to talk with. And for me, it was different. It is. It's also sometimes frustrating because you want things that will happen fast, and now you know. But it's also refreshing. Actually, in Jerusalem, in the dance festival in Orsolya, it was. I think it was Saturday we performed together, and 3 days after it's the second class, and it was actually.
Like in 2 days you have to
Yeah,
switch.
but it was for me. It was she got injured. That's why she
yes,
did it.
yes,
She got injured. It wasn't planned, but it was also refreshing because also sometimes to perform same piece again and again, what we are doing now. It's easily you can feel that you start to just like repeat yourself. But it's good to dance with the original.
Can you imagine second cast?
No, we
No.
just talked about it yesterday, and we understood that this piece is like this. It's not about the tricks, because probably if it would be not me or not Laura, but somebody else, a lot of things wouldn't even be possible, because it really depends on our proportions and how we feel each other, because we really worked a lot of researching what is actually possible.
And I think every movement we did like 50 times to find out what it actually was.
Yes, to understand
Before
it and
we
hear.
thought that okay, we can keep this.
Yes. And still we find a lot of new interesting things. For example,
She
yesterday,
surprises me every time.
yesterday I found another thing where I could just take my hands away. I was like, wow, this will be a premiere for this movement.
So does this mean that you have kind of free possibility to work with the material? So as we mentioned, Alicia is the choreographer.
Yes, but she allows us a lot of freedom within it, and also while creating the piece, most of the time she was the eye from the side,
And we create the movement material together.
Like you were improvising and then
not really improvising. We were
just trying.
getting stuck in a position and then trying to figure out how to get out of that position.
Because I feel like I imagine her body as a landscape, and I'm trying to, in the research process, I'm just trying to find new landscapes where I could actually go.
some years ago we invited a piece from the Netherlands, and the title was No Man's Island, just because you mentioned the landscape. And somehow the structure was the same, but it was different. But two men were working together, and the guy was mainly lying on the floor, and he was pretty close to the floor, even if he was more up. And the other one was always on the top of him. Mm-hmm. So when I have seen your work, it immediately reminded me to this. Whoever have seen it at our festival, then you also can have the chance to recall this feeling. But it was, I was, in both cases actually, I was thinking about the partnership and the trust, what you, because you also have lots of partnering in your work. And everything seems to be so easy in both works. And of course, who has a knowledge, who is educated in dance, knows that it's not at all so easy. It's really precise, and or the breathing is really needed to listen to the other. And what is this partnership that you are using, and how do you work? How, like in your case, do you use improvisation, and then you set what you like, or?
Yes. So in this process, we the beginning.
Played in the studio.
Yeah, we said let's improvise, exactly playing in the studio, and also let's meet, because we realize we are coming from different backgrounds, and also the umbrella of the Batsheva dance company, which is very specific umbrella, so okay, let's see how we meet. Yeah, also the Gaga language, was very much into it. I was familiar with it a bit, but it's not my, I'm not there. And then how we meet, and then, yeah, actually we found, it also took a time.
Did you have a topic when you started? Or you just wanted to try out what you two
Yes,
can do with
we
each
actually
other?
we didn't start with a specific topic. We like kind of said to ourselves what are the dry facts that we have in the studio. It's men and the woman, so
Weird.
probably yeah.
I've never seen such
So
work.
I guess it will take to a relationship, kind of topic, and about, we talked a lot about the meeting, about how we meet each other, because we knew we come from a different style, I can say. And for me, I can say it actually to be also under this platform of Batsheva dancers, it was interesting, and it's.
What was the reaction? Because like you were mixing these different backgrounds, it's obvious. I mean, I can see it after watching a lot of Israeli works in the past 6-7 years. When did we visit first time Jerusalem? I don't remember. So for me, it's obvious that two different words are melting into each other. But what did they say, like the Batsheva company, when they saw the premiere?
We felt that so the process was that before there is a premiere, we had to do a bunch of presentations and to show a piece in process, let's say, in order for all of us, all the company, to understand what do we have in terms of pieces, in terms of casts, and how to organize the evening. And basically Gil and I, maybe especially from my side, we were avoiding these presentations. I was really waiting for the last moment to reveal
how could
it.
you avoid it? Like
just to
the
say,
presentation?
We found our
We
excuse.
found excuses, yes, because we understood that we are different, which is of course it's something not bad, but it's also it was a bit frightening, to be honest. And so we were avoiding this presentation as much as we could. So the first presentation, let's say, would be just around the dancers. The second presentation would be already with our rehearsal directors. The third one would be with someone even higher, and the last one would be the one in front of Ohad and his team. So for the last one, we couldn't say no anymore. We were kind of forced to show, yes. And as we showed it, we actually showed it without the song, just with the scream sound, if you guys remember. And then we had this relief, and we were very supported also from. But I think it was more important for us to give it a little bit outside.
Yeah. Also, we wanted to feel more ready.
Yeah.
They think that at the end it was accepted very well, even though it was different.
Yeah.
Because it was also refreshing for the place.
Yeah, for the whole.
Yeah, but I feel from my side that I also got a lot from the place, from the energy of the place, from the taste, from the so it's influenced the piece, even though like the language is different, but it's there. So it was interesting we talked about it a lot also after when we continued performed, like what was there in the beginning that was actually so refreshing, you know,
and specific,
and we talked about this combination, about how, if I try to put it in simple words, which is how in a way some I don't know, maybe textures or some qualities from the Gaga language is coming into the contact, to the contact we're doing. And
so you started to develop Gaga language, to go into a little different direction.
No, also movement-wise, but and also artistically.
Can you imagine to teach to others this, like in an open workshop, and to make research and match the people? And
after our last performance in one festival, one girl she saw this piece and she really liked it, and she said, "Oh, I really want to try this." But she's not a dancer, but I just want to try this. And then that made me think that this is not really about the tricks. It's about me and Laura and our kind of understanding, how we understand each other's bodies. So we would need to create
Well, talking about this, we got to the conclusion that if we made a workshop for this, it wouldn't be the same movements, but maybe the same principles would be possible.
Yes. Not the tricks, what you saw in the performance, but the idea of how we research these, how we got to the point.
I would like to open the discussion on this point. Maybe you have some thoughts or questions, or you would like to add some impressions. Just feel free.
I would like to ask you how it was with sound for your piece.
Sound?
Music.
Originally, it's 3 girls singing
Live.
And
The same thing.
they're singing exactly the same thing.
Yeah. They just recorded it.
And they, but usually they are sitting in the audience.
They are in the audience. And they
When I do this, shut up.
they react to our movements rather than we react to their singing. And so for coming here, we needed to record because they couldn't come. And then they recorded it accordingly with a video of the premiere. But first of all, the piece has changed a little bit, and then also it's never exactly the same. So it was strange to adapt to this.
Because we're used to them adapting to us, and now it's it was different.
But but we still did it quite in music.
I also wanted to ask you, because it's a Bulgarian song, and why did you?
Ina is from Bulgaria, and she is now, during the whole festival, she is visiting everything.
I mean, is it connected with the theme for you, or?
This is a question for Alice, I
For
think.
a choreographer?
But as far as we know, she just really wanted those girls to sing, and they are they have their own band, let's say, and they mostly sing Latvian folk songs, but somehow in a either Russian or Ukrainian or any other Eastern European manner, and
they were the ones who chose it.
they chose a song they liked, and then we just checked what it means and understood that it's not a disaster. So,
And also it matches with your name.
Yes, and that's, I think, I don't know
That
if
was
the
funny,
girls did it intentionally, because it's like it's a wordplay somehow, because it sings Yana Torchula, it's like Yana tortured. Yana is tortured.
but that's not what it means.
It's not what it means, but for us, we hear that, because we don't understand the language.
It's connected with the theme, actually.
Can you maybe please say what?
Well, it's a bit. It's a little bit political. It's a song from our past when we were under the Ottoman Empire, and it's a conversation between a Turkish man and a Bulgarian woman, and he wants her to go with him, so to become his wife, and she's searching for ways to say no to him.
In some common situation, we'd say no, and in music.
So you told on the beginning that it was mentioned like piece for 5 dancers, so you are still 5 kind of, no?
No.
Three singers?
Yes, still.
But then it would be 8 because the singing girls were there anyway.
But still, yes, the five.
Yeah. That's true.
Anybody else?
Usually the most common question is how much I weigh.
We know, 15 kilograms.
Now you know.
Maybe can you let us know what do you think about your future? Like, as you just finished the education, do you want to continue in institution or want to join as an ensemble, a company?
There are projects, contemporary dance projects, or new premieres what are coming up in Latvia by Latvian choreographers. So I'm participating in that. So I'm kind of
Independent projects.
yes, and so I still want to stay in the dance scene, to dance and create.
For me, it feels like we graduated the academy, but now we really finish it because we are still showing the diploma works,
Yes.
a few of them, and then also the new theatre institute in Latvia. They are organizing a project for some of our generation to create the first short piece. So we'll be doing that, which is like another graduation piece in a way, because now it's our first independent piece. I'm also participating in a couple of new pieces.
In Latvia.
Yes, in Latvia. Because it just somehow happened that there were so many projects in Latvia that
Yes,
I couldn't
somehow.
do anything else.
It's a boom.
Yes.
Wow. And do you remember when you left the school and you still had the images? How much did you manage to fulfill what you dreamt about? Yeah?
I can, yeah, but in a different way. Not exactly how.
What does it mean?
That you have some kind of dream of what you want to do, what you will do, and also how it will feel. And it's not the same. Just find. Also, you get exposed to more things that are happening when you actually how that exist, also in Israel and worldwide. And then your past is always like changing. Then maybe if I thought to be in this company, that will be the thing, that will feel like this, and will be the 7 years. And then you leave after 2 years, and then like it just it's different than the original plan.
I was surprised for good because I came from a very peripheral, small city in Israel, and I grew up more in amateur dance centers. And then when I finished high school, I didn't imagine I would find a job as a professional dancer because like it was more divided between the people who finished the professional dance schools, and I didn't have the opportunity to go to these schools. And then I got my first job when I was 19 in a company, and I stayed there for a bunch of years, and then I got my second job and then my third job. And at the same time I was already very busy also as a freelancer, so my schedule became more and more busy, and then I became a teacher also, and I started teaching as well. So I'm very lucky and grateful for the opportunities I got unexpectedly. And about my dreams, I'm fulfilling them and hoping to keep on doing that.
If you don't have any other questions, then I would say that officially I close this discussion, and thank you for the performances. It was great to have you here. And tomorrow we continue the festival. We will have a workshop actually here in the morning at 10, and GKERER will lead it, who already showed her piece on the first night. So feel free to join it from 10 to 12. And then during the weekend we have a very special mini festival implanted into our festival, which is a home festival, L'Organare Home Festival, and the curator is Jadwiga from Romania. And the project is about inviting artists and finding flats. And we invite the guests also to the private homes. And this will happen during the afternoon of Saturday and Sunday. We are kind of booked already because it's limited, but whoever feels the need and urge to join us, just let us know. And then in the evening at 8 and at 9, L1 members' work will happen here in this studio. We made it during a residency in Serbia, and 7 artists from the association made a 30 minutes long piece, and we would like to share it with you tomorrow. So you are welcome, and have a nice evening. Bring a massage. No?
Oh, it was a massage.
It was already.
Didn't you
okay.
see last time?
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you.